should I be louder?
It's perfect.
Okay, thank you. So then let us start. A very happy evening to all of you. Rotary Club of Coimbatore, a club which was a pioneer of Rotary movement in India and had Coimbatore stalwarts to lead it, is currently in its 77th year. Rotary Club of Coimbatore welcomes you all to our signature and exclusive project, As I Evolve. Rotary's today's program, As I Evolve, was born in 2012 and has since then inspired and transformed a lot of young minds. Today is going to be yet another. So request all of you to sit back, listen, and absorb inspiring words by our chief guest, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan, co-founder and CEO of companies Draw and Zino. Over to President.
Thank you, Madam. Rotary Club of Coimbatore, 16th weekly meeting. Topic, As I Evolve, is hereby called to order.
Request Rotarian Jyotish Pillai, Chair, Youth Service, for the Rotary four-way test, please.
Jyotish?
Ram, Jyotish is there?
Okay. No, sir.
I can. I can go ahead and recite that. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you, President. Request again, President Rotarian T. Money, to welcome the participants for today's program.
A very pleasant evening to all. Rotary Club of Coimbatore is immensely pleased to start the first session on As I Evolve, one of the signature projects of our club, by joining with 9 engineering colleges and business schools, along with our own Rotarians and Rotaract members. On behalf of all our members, I extend a very warm welcome to the chief guest of today evening, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan, for accepting our invitation and to deliver the motivational talk. Thanks to our own chair, As I Evolve Rotarian Gunasekaran, for arranging the internationally known iconic businessman to talk amongst the youngsters who are present in large numbers. Welcome, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan. My special thanks to our own past president, Rotarian Dr. Bala Venkat, who has been instrumental in making the As I Evolve as our club's signature project and extending all possible support during every year in successfully conducting the event since 2012. Welcome, Dr. Bala. Would like to extend my warm welcome to the CEOs, principals, HODs, faculty members, and student friends from Aditya Institute of Technology, Banariamman Institute of Technology, Coimbatore Institute of Technology, GRD College, Happy Valley Business School, InLife Institute of Vision Management, PhD Institute of Management Studies, Saveta Engineering College, and Saraswati Tyagaraja College for positively responding to our invitation and made a good strength of young talents to attend this program. I extend my warm welcome to the district officers, sister club presidents and secretaries, fellow Rotarians, Rotarians, Annex, Rotractors, invited guests and friends who are present and eagerly awaiting to listening to the great speakers. In spite of several hardships due to the pandemic, there are few positives. And one such is to have Mr. Vijay Swaminathan to be with us virtually to motivate the young minds. I'm sure Mr. Vijay's talk is going to transform each and every student to think differently, plan wisely, and act correctly. I once again welcome each and every one of you for this wonderful meeting.
Thank you, President Mani. Over to Secretary Rotarian Ismail for the announcements.
Good evening, everybody. Actually, wishing our past President Rotarian Jesu a very happy birthday. He celebrated his birthday last Friday. Wishing Rotarian Dr. Kumaran, who celebrated his birthday on Saturday, a very happy birthday to you, sir. On behalf of all members of Rotary Club of Coimbatore, here is wishing all Rotarians who celebrated the birthday a year of health, wealth, and happiness. Our next weekly meeting is jointly planned with Rotary Club of Coimbatore, Rotary Club of Tirupur, Rotary Club of RCC Vadavalli, RCC Coimbatore, RCC Manchester, and speaker is going to be Rotarian PDG Saga, and topic is end polio. Your time is usually 7 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Rotarian Ismail. Well, his prescriptions during his presidency ensure that our club helped the youth evolve into better human beings. The vaccine created was christened as I Evolve, that has so far touched more than 3,000 students across the last 8 years. May I request the person behind this program, Rotarian past president, Dr. Bala Venkata Subramaniam, Senior Consultant and Academic Director of Anesthesia at Ganga Medical Center and Hospital, Coimbatore, to introduce this event, which has transformed so many young, smart minds. Doctor, please.
Thank you for your kind words of prescription and the vaccine. These two things are in the topmost of our mind in this COVID pandemic. And I'm extremely happy that Dr. Veena pointed out on these very important things which everyone is looking forward to, the vaccine for COVID. Respected President Rotarian Mani, Secretary Ismail, the Chairman of Assay Evolve for this year, the dynamic, vibrant, enthusiastic Rotarian Gunashekharan Krishnan, fellow Rotarians, senior members of Rotary Fraternity, and invited guests, and most importantly, the young, energetic minds, the young college students from several parts of the state who are part of this meeting. I welcome you all to this enriching, informative program, which has got the ability to transform your thinking and in the process transform your life and to be as successful as the chief guest of today, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan. Why should each one of you attend Assay Evolve? How is it going to enrich you? I would wanted to tell each one of you who have logged in here, first of all, I thank you. And I wanted to tell you that the first step that you took in to log in into this webinar is itself a sign of prosperity and progress to you. Most of the young minds would like to be on several platforms which are entertaining, but which is not transforming. And by the virtue of you deciding to be a part of this program itself shows that you want to have a great pathway to grow. What does Assay Evolve offer to a student? You know that you study your books, your textbooks, and you gain knowledge. Whether you're an engineer, an architect, or a management student, you read the syllabus, you attend the exam, and you pass. Why is that some of them are so proactive? Why is that some of them are so successful than all the others in the same class? And you will all agree with me, the most successful people know the life lessons. The life lessons include the positivity, attitude, discipline in every aspect, doing the thing to the best of your ability, and time management, and how you kind of do strategies for your growth for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. How is to communicate your thoughts effectively? How is that you will be a leader in whatever that is assigned to you? How will you develop a good communication skill and an excellent interpersonal relationship? So it is important to be very knowledgeable in your chosen profession, but to go to the top, to achieve and accomplish, to result in a life which is called as a legendary life, and to leave behind a legacy once you're gone. It starts from this day, the first day of Assay Evolve. And what is our commitment to you? The Rotary Club of Coimbatore is committed to bring in the best minds who have succeeded in their life because they were shade different from their classmates. And today Vijay is an example of how in a very young age, he progressed to an extent that he could offer a better life for hundreds of fellow beings by giving them a job. So it is very crucial and vital that every day that you pass by from now on, you have to be so observant. You should be like a sponge where you suck in all the good things that you see in life. You get the expertise and experience of people like Vijay who have gone through your phase of life. And so they will give you what is that you need to do now to make sure that you have a 360-degree growth, a holistic development, not only professionally, but personally in every facet of life. So every time you come in and log into this meeting, I would want you to be 100% attentive to every word that is spoken. Number two, once you have taken the take-home messages, think about it every day. Try to assimilate it and try to make it a part of your life. And once it becomes a habit, all that is spoken here, I'm sure that you're going to be a very, very successful professional with an excellent personal life and a progressive professional life. And we visualize this to happen to each one of you. So every minute that you invest here is an investment for your life. And I look forward for an excellent session that is going to commence now, the first session of Assay Evolve. I thank Mr. Vijay for being with us here today to share his thoughts and to make these young minds take the right path to grow and be extremely successful. And Vijay, I'm sure that several of them are going to come and tell you 5 years down the line, sir, we listened to you in Assay Evolve, and thank you so much that we have been a success story. With this, I take the opportunity to thank the entire team which has organized this Assay Evolve, and I look forward for an excellent session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Bala. Your words have always been like a balm, soothing our mind and heart. Well, co-founder, thinker, and doer is this prefix most often. A serial entrepreneur whose profile is intimidating to most students who will note terms like data analytics, operations research, and simulation modeling. But at the same time, also very inspiring to those who peep into his LinkedIn profile. To know more about our chief guest, let me now invite Rotarian Gunashekar, Chair, Assay Evolve, to introduce Mr. Vijay Swaminathan formally to all of us. Mr. Guna.
Thank you, Veena. Good evening, President Rotarian Mani, Secretary Rotarian Ismail, Youth Service Chairman Jyotish Pillai. To all of you, my heartfelt thanks to accept this project and allowing it to do from my end. My warm evening for all the students from various colleges as well who are here. Thank you very much for taking time out in spite of your busy webinars from the colleges, from your various competitive exams. I really thank you very much to be here at this point in time. Few house rules before I introduce the speaker of the day, which I want to tell you how this program is all going to be done in days to come. Well, we are going to have 6 to 8 sessions for the entire Rotary year. Rotary year ends up in June 2021. So we'll have more or less 6 to 8 sessions. I would request each one of you who have joined in today, without fail, please ensure that you are attending all your forthcoming meetings to ensure you get a good thought process on how you can shape up your career or you can shape up your life in days to come. Number 2, by the end of the Rotary year, we are planning to have a small project assigned to each and every one of you, wherein whoever does the best, probably the top 3, we will be giving a small memento and gift, which you can cherish forever. And the third important thing is participants who are all participating here for sure will be getting a participant certificate, which will be definitely an added point to your career. So finally, I request each and every one of you to mute your phones so that the speaker doesn't get interrupted anywhere in between, and all your questions can be posted in the message box. Well, getting on to the speaker introduction, my friend Vijay, schoolmate, it's really a pleasure to be a part of the program where he's going to speak. Like movies, he's a next door boy who did his schooling in Tier 3 city. He did extremely well in school and college. He's extremely intelligent, which landed up in the great dreamland, US. He went on to do his MS Industrial Engineering in the University of Oklahoma. From there on, there is no look back. It's now almost a quarter of the century, which is 25 years now. He did, immediately after his college, he with a few stint in few companies, he went on to start his companies on his own. He became a serial entrepreneur, started a lot of companies, and few who you would have seen in the invite as well. He brings in a wealth of expertise in the area of data analytics, simulation modeling, forecast modeling, business process optimization, and operation research. Vijay brings in several innovative industrial engineering techniques in product ideation, concept to productization, and platform enablement. Look forward for your insights and your roads travel. Vijay, virtual floor is all yours. We welcome you now.
Yeah, thank you, Rotarian Guna. Our mission to connect young minds with the people who have the ability to transform is now just a few seconds away. Mr. Vijay, you have 30 minutes to connect, inspire, and influence young minds. Your time starts now, Mr. Vijay.
Thank you, Dr. Beena. Thanks a lot. When my dear friend Guna asked me to do this little talk, when I was really drawn on by the concept Assay evolve, and that is one of the primary reason why we got very, very excited, because by no means I come to you with a sense of I know certain things and you don't. That is not the mindset I'm bringing in. Whatever I'm going to bring in the next 29 minutes now would be really around some of the things that we have gone through. Guna and I know, we know each other for a very long time. We all come from a very modest, humble beginnings. And there is an inherent challenge associated because of that. And how do you capture that? How do you, bring through that your best from that standpoint? Before I begin, I really want to thank President Mr. T. Mani and also Secretary Ismail and Dr. Bala for his kind words, and Dr. Beena for coordinating this whole thing. I'm still getting familiar with you, so if I have missed any one of you, I apologize. But really what we're going to focus on the next 30 minutes or so is around a fundamental foundational belief that the progress that we make as a civilization or as a race is really not automatic or inevitable. That means if you just let the time elapse in one axis and not put the effort on, progress is not going to happen. So progress of any sort includes sacrifice, suffering, and struggle. One of my role models and heroes is Martin Luther King Jr. And really studying his history gave me a lot of insights about how can you come from a completely distressed scenario and then work yourself into becoming a leader. When that type of a foundation that our ancestors have done, you handle issues that come to you, from a different perspective. Now today, if you, Dr. Bala mentioned that we are, we have so many platforms, you have so many platforms, and I really want to thank you for taking the time to join this. You have tons of entertainment channels, you have tons of news channels that keeps talking about the big issues. Granted, we have massive issues, whether it is COVID, where professionals like Dr. Bala are tirelessly working on resolving. We have about 40 million COVID patients across the globe. And even a bigger problem, there is refugees across the globe. There is about displaced refugees, 79 million. We have 4 billion people who do not have access to basic healthcare across the globe. And you have a lot of people who are still beginning to get electricity. So in this type of scenario where, even though we are faced with such issues, we have done something phenomenal across the globe, right? We have fought valiantly. If you look at infant mortality rate, it has dropped just in a period of 30 years. It has dropped from 6.5% to 2.9%. Life expectancy, we have improved it just in 20, 30 years. We have dramatically improved it from 64 years to 73 years. And the share of people who are undernourished, which was about 15% in 2000, it's now dropped to 10% or so. So we have to keep these bigger improvements that we are making. So contrary to what you may hear, we have enough scientific data that the world is getting a better place, right? And that type of mindset will take you out from all the negativity that you face. Now, why am I saying this, right? And we have tons of other statistics. Like in 1800, for example, 87.9% of the people were recorded illiterate. Now in 2016, we have just flipped that. How great is that? Like we have about 87% who are literate now across the globe. So this is a phenomenal progress that we have made as human beings. And the reason why I say that is the first thing that when you come from small towns, when I grew up in the city of Vellore, much like our friend Guna, when you grow up in a small city, you may be reading books, you may be trying to push yourself, but not having access to a forum like this. I mean, just looking at the opportunity that you have to learn from folks like our President Mani or Dr. Bala, and, Ismail, and so on. That is just a mind-boggling opportunity which we did not have. So even within a span of 20 years, you can see the opportunities that are in front of you is just quadrupled, like in terms of digital platforms and and other things that we did not have. So when you do not have that, you take a lot of time in doing what you do, which is exactly what I personally went through. If others require, say 2 hours to study thermal engineering, I would need 20 hours to study because I'm a very, very slow learner, and things just don't occur to me very easily. But once it does, then it stays on the return. It stays on for a while because you have put in more time than others. So sometimes speed is not on your side. For some people, the speed is on your side. So you have to first understand what is your makeup, what is your style of understanding these things. So if you look at even from a perspective of a historical perspective, right? Human beings have always done fantastic things. It has always been a continuous learning. Learning is at the core of whatever we do, even in prehistoric phase to all the way from the agricultural revolution to industrial revolution to digital revolution. The digital revolution is so powerful because it is one of the most inclusive aspect, whether it is older folks like myself or younger folks like you who are on the call. Everybody is at par because the technology stack is so new. And today, even though let's say I have run a particular company for 10-15 years, you could find something even better and completely displace me. Like we saw examples early 2000, like Google, which just developed a very powerful search algorithm and displaced Yahoo. Or you could see eBay disrupting the auctioning market, but now newer tools from Japan like Mercari are displacing even eBay. So you have a fantastic rhythm of companies flowing into digital. So today, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what is your family background, as long as you are willing to do the time and you are trying to fill your mind with good things, as Dr. Bala mentioned in the beginning, just by signing up to in this direction puts you ahead when you have a lot of energy, right? So something that I personally learned like in my 40s, can we transport some of that into your early 20s or mid 20s? And then you are accelerating not just your growth, but India's growth strategy and growth vision. So in doing this, India is at a phenomenal spot. No matter what you hear from the overall macro trends, our talent pool is just outstanding, right? We have the demand for digital talent is like 4 times larger than the supply talent pool, and more demand is coming India's way, especially from a digital standpoint. If you look at the IT organizations across the globe, you would see very many people who have background from who hail from India are now becoming the CIOs and the senior directors and the vice presidents of all the technology organization. So as a result, IT comes to folks from India naturally, and you would have to believe that. Now, there will be a school of thought that says that the way Indians approach IT is not correct. They do not know much. They do not know completely. My request is, do not subscribe to that type of school of thought, because if you do, then that becomes a reality. So you are what you truly believe in, and we want you to believe that you are innovators. You can do whatever. And at the end of the day, any platform, take for example Python, if you take effort and put in it, like give it 6 months, like you just read and breathe Python. You're all great engineers, most of you are. And even if you are not, if you live and breathe that, you will become good at that, reasonably good at that. Making an expertise out of it may take a little time, but you will understand the libraries. It's all how it will kind of click in your mind. So this digital gap that we have needs to be plugged in through the leverage of people like you, because you do not want global companies to start thinking that India has run out of talent, right? So my request to you is be extremely determined to learn whatever there is about technology, right? And that is not just gaming and things like that. Just go to the foundations of within AI. Python is the #1 tool. R, each stack has its own component. Just learn everything about it, even if it is not part of your curriculum. You have a fantastic brain that has phenomenal plasticity. So how do we kind of keep at it and make sure that we serve our customers, local market or global companies? You don't necessarily have to work only for global companies. You can start your own startups, right? So this is one very encouraging sign. Even though it looks like there is a big gap, the gap has to be viewed as an opportunity, right? And one other thing that I really stumbled upon early on, which sort of changed my opinion about how I feel about myself, is one of the things that we always, at least I always feel coming from a smaller city or a smaller town is, hey, I do not have many things. If you go to, you kind of constantly comparing with students who are educated in London or Chennai or wherever that is, right? So, but journey is not, external guidance to a certain extent helps you, but a lot of this journey is internal, meaning you truly have to you see, the only thing you have to decide is, how am I going to use this precious commodity called time? Right? How are you going to use that priceless commodity called time? Or I'm not saying don't focus on entertainment. Entertainment is a key component of how you grow. But majority of the time, if you use it like Michael Faraday, who really, many of you may be familiar with him about his work in terms of the phenomenal work that was done on electromagnetism, which sort of served as the foundational discovery in electrical engineering. Michael Faraday came from a very poor background, and he just used to work in a library, and when the shift is over, he would request the owner to just lock him up overnight. And overnight, he would just read everything related to electrical engineering and physics and everything there is to it about chemistry. He's probably the only electromagnetic sort of physics type of person who excelled in chemistry as well. Just a phenomenal brain, but self-taught, right? Entirely self-taught. So while what I have personally done is obviously nothing to that magnitude, but it gives a lot of hope if you can learn something that complex by yourself. There is a lot that you can do given how much the world has progressed, right? So when Guna mentioned that post-schooling, I came to the US and did my master's. But I must say that I would divide my life into first half of 20-22 years and the second half of 22 to 23 years. I've been a lot more serious on the second 20-22 years than first 20 years. The reason for that is many things, right? A sort of, I always mentally, nobody told me this, but mentally, I just assigned myself a sort of a second tier status in the first part of my 20 years because, I do not have any special skills, nor I'm gifted with any skills. Some people are like that. When you see itself, they can crack a quant's problem in split second. Some of the difficult problem would take me a lot of time. Some of the easier problem will also take me a lot of time. So I very quickly realized that what is taking others like split seconds would take me like minutes or hours at a time to understand what it is. So as a result of that, I had a lot of doubts, self-doubts in my mind. But once I started exposing myself to a lot of biographies and learning about others, and also you don't have to really read anything. You can look at your President Rotarian. He was telling me he runs a software company with 50 people. That's the, there is a lot to be learned just from that person, right? So there is so much to learn from other folks. Once I started understanding that your learning actually comes from others, and while you can learn through the books and everything, if you bring in an element of respect about what others have done, then that's what we did. Like, we basically have 3 or 4 friends. Actually, all one of the privileged thing that I am very, very proud of saying that the 3 people who started our enterprise, which is now a 1,000-member enterprise, is all 3 of us went to Government College of Engineering, Salem. We knew each other. I had only probably 7 or 8 friends in the entire college because I was a little bit of a loner and a little bit of an introvert even today. But the 3 people whom I formed real close relationship with, we built a multi-million-dollar company through that relationship. So the reason I'm saying that is, amongst you, there are champions that you can align with, and it need not be, you need not be the most popular kid in the college. I was hardly, even today, many of the people, if I go to an alumni group or anyone, they will not know me. That's because I had a select group of friends, and the only credit that I give myself is I made that count, because the 3 people whom as I said, we built this massive business. So I'm quite delighted about what college gave you to from that standpoint. So obviously it will give you access to great professors, great books. Now with the digital access, you have all the great things. But the biggest thing that it can give you is your friends, and then if you align sort of the right set of people, you can do magic. You can do magic with that limited set of friends that you may have. Dr. Beena, I'm going to request for a time check, because I don't know if that is a chat mechanism. It is flashing. Could you please tell me how much more time you have? I don't want to take too much time.
Vijay, you can go ahead, Vijay, not a problem.
Okay, got it. All right. So some flash chat messages coming. I don't know if that's a time.
No, it's not a
just
time.
Want to double check.
No, it's not a time.
Okay,
just go ahead.
Great.
We are collecting questions. Sorry for that interruption.
Sure. No worries. No worries. So one of the other things that I very quickly learned is, you may be technically very savvy, but in a global stage, selling yourself and selling your enterprise is a very, very important skill. And unfortunately, our curriculum is not wired to make you feel good. And a big part of what selling is all about is, you have to feel good about yourself. And that's my one of my key messages today would be, you have to feel good about yourself. You are already super talented. Many of you have put yourself through grueling school schedule and understood massive. You may not know everything, but always do not wake up from a perspective of I do not know this, I do not know that, so thereby I'm not good at it. As long as you are doing putting the time in and keeping your digital habits key, really key, you will slowly start talking about what you do from a positive perspective, right? And that actually helped us started selling companies. We sold Talent Neuron to a world's largest enterprise called, one of the largest enterprise called Gartner. And that gave personally all our stakeholders a lot of confidence. Can we build something entirely in a place like Bangalore? By this time, we had put out like 300, 400 people in Bangalore. Then we sold it. It is still one of the most powerful, talent intelligence platform, and it is valued at well over $300 million. So it was a great success in terms of the milestone for my personal journey, and as well as all our company's journey. Over time, we came back to the drawing board to do something in artificial intelligence. That is our current journey. The current journey, I signed up for a different thing. We wanted to cover a lot of micro hubs. For example, we put a center not just in Bangalore. We opened a 10-member center in Coimbatore. Now we have 100 people. We opened, many of you may not know this place, but there is a small place near Vellore, near a place called Arakonam. There is a place called Nemili. We have well over 500 people there, right? These are all women who have fabulous degrees, but due to various cultural reasons, they will not leave the small villages. So we have given opportunity to at least 400 plus women doing data tagging. So they are part of the AI value chain, and they basically come in and clean up data, and we train them on a lot of computer science aspects, machine learning aspects. How do you build basic models? To us, as we set up this lab, several of them picked up data engineering themselves. Some of them self-taught Python. Some of them, over a period of 3 years, we just see that how people, this place is literally amongst farms. We converted a large warehouse into a corporate office, and we are obviously at any given time, we get about 100 resumes to constantly evaluate and hire. Now, very recently, even people from Chennai are traveling into our lab. So we have phenomenal aspirations for this lab. We want to bring in about 5,000 people in this small little village. Amazon, you may be knowing about them. Amazon is very interested to visit our campus. Dell, you name it, all the companies are just delighted how we have done this, and just the process of taking them through from the the highways, going into small street, and then suddenly you have this big lab, digital lab that we have set up. Is this mind-blowing journey that we are going through today. We serve 150 global customers, and we have connected this small place directly to. So for the customers in Seattle, people from this Nemili Arakonam would respond. And we have just been fortunate and thankful, and always figured out that treated customer first. That mindset is there is something that is ingrained in every single associate we have. And that customer first mindset also taught me certain interesting things, right? The best way I started shaping myself up in this journey is I started loving animals in a big way. And the reason for that is it's a great stress busting mechanism when you have an animal, when you love an animal. Second, animals just move on. Like today they may be, they just don't hold grudge or anger. Like, they just move on, and they show a lot of courage. They fight till the last minute. We actually have one dog who had some genetic issues. The way that dog fought through his life, even now, is thriving really well now, taught me a lot of things. Like, sometimes we may encounter issues, sometimes our friends may hurt us, sometimes our loved family may hurt us, but you just move on. You just say that, yes, let's not dwell too much on that, because at the end of the day, a large part of your journey, you will know this, is how well your mental health is all about, right? You cannot, whatever you need to do from that perspective, you really have to do that. And this is all a journey. And by no means I'm saying this, as I said in the beginning of the meeting, this is not a lecture to say that I know this, you should do this. These are all kind of what I believe, how I'm going to shape up the next 20 years, right? Learn how to sell. I spoke about that quite a bit. Dr. Bala spoke about the digital habits. Today you have fantastic digital platform, but you also have too many points of distraction. Guna and I didn't have that, for example. You have so many, YouTube is a great learning channel, but if you are going to constantly watch only movie videos, then that's going to be limiting. I'm not saying don't do that, but look into TED conferences, look into who won the Nobel Prize, why did they give Nobel Prize. Last week we had some great scientists winning Nobel Prize. On the surface, not just reading the news item, what the process they went through, right? One of the biggest problem that I really have, and I continue to have, is retention, right? You can read thousands of books, but how are you going to retain it, right? So I found this app called Evernote, which is a fantastic mobile app, where if there is a story that you can think about, and you log it, you can add links, and you can also notate to say that this is my interpretation of this learning. Because you would be what I have seen people do is when they attend a session like that, they would be on a high and kind of read 2-3 books immediately. But if you ask about that a month from now, you may not remember even a single thing, because you would have read so many things, or you would have forgotten about it. So from a book, even if 2 or 3 stories resonate to you, you kind of reflect about it, self-reflect it, and how to use that. That way, in a 500-page book, even if you take 2 or 3 stories, write about that story, journal about it in an app like Evernote, and then you would come back to it on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. Every Saturday, you can say, I have learned 50-60 stories, I'm going to refresh that. That way it stays with you. And that's something you would have to do every day, every week, when you are waiting to catch a bus or whatever that you are doing, right? And that proved very, very helpful, because it makes my conversations that much more richer. Respect everyone, learn from everyone. We have a tendency to kind of pick on someone who's doing something new out of the ordinary. If someone is working out or reading something, our first reaction, this is almost a thing that I have seen mostly in our culture, the South Indian culture is what I'm calling as our culture, is to kind of immediately put it down in a humorous way. Humor is a big thing. That's how we survive and thrive. But we should kind of stay away from that and let that person do what they want to do. And and that's actually can be very, very destructive, right? The person may be learning a new language, whether it is French or Chinese or Hindi or whatever. Our immediate response is to kind of put it down, even when they are in the beginning stages, right? So as long as we don't do that, nobody else will do that for us. And I have started many things, and abandoned simply because the ecosystem around me is extremely, for lack of a better word, brutal. They would just pick on me for anything out of the ordinary, whether it is learning how to ride horses or whatever that is, right? So let's not do that. I think that is something I have learned. I used to do that too. I'm not saying that I'm a very noble person. I used to do that too, because I just enjoyed doing that. And now I don't. I think it's just worthless to do that. Work exponentially hard is something, the only variable you can control. If you have an interview, if others prepare 3 hours, you have to prepare 9 hours, 10 hours, depending upon where you are and how things work. Like there are some instances when I was selling to Microsoft. Microsoft is one of our clients. I prepared for 42 hours straight before a meeting, right? And one of the meetings I had always cherished in 2010 was I kind of psyched myself to believe that can I actually build relationships even at the CEO level, right? So as a test in 2009, during Christmas time, I sent out an email to the Starbucks CEO, Howard Schultz, saying that, I have some point of view on how to turn around Starbucks. At that time, Starbucks was not doing good. So I compiled, I sat in a Starbucks and wrote a very, very detailed report and sent it to Howard Schultz. And to my surprise, I got an invite to meet with him. Not just, I was asking for a 15-minute interview, but I got a 4-hour slot on January 15th, right? So from December 26th to January 15th, my immediate fear was, how am I going to keep such an accomplished billionaire, entrepreneur, engaged for 4 hours, the kind of preparation that you had to go through. Pretty much for the next 15 days, I never slept. And I just had a fantastic meeting and leveraged quite a bit to get some projects and all that stuff. So your preparation can be is a very, very key thing. Sometimes what may happen is you may go to a meeting and do really, really well without any preparation, but that is pure luck. So you cannot expect that to be to repeat. So no matter what you do, just prepare. Practice presentations and public speaking. That's something that doesn't come to me naturally. Even something like this forum, I just beginning to practice. So in many ways, I'm a work in progress product, and I'm delighted to share some of my reflections today. Just to give you a brief objective of where we are hoping to take drop in a big way. We are hiring in Coimbatore, we are hiring in Bangalore, we are hiring in the US. So any engineers who's excited to join us, we'll be happy to look into your resumes and things like that. So I also made a hiring pitch that way using this platform. So that's sort of what I had for in my mind. So if there are any questions, I can speak about that. Otherwise, thank you for the opportunity to be in front of you. Thanks, Rotary Club of Coimbatore, for this phenomenal initiative.
Vijay, there are a few questions.
Sure, Gunnar.
The first question, Vijay, from Dr. Bala Venkat. What do you consider as an inflection point in life?
Sorry, Guna, I couldn't hear you.
What do you consider as your inflection point in life?
Got it. I think that's a brilliant question. In terms of inflection point, as I said, in the beginning of my life, I took a lot of things very easy, in the sense, I think both Guna and I, we were very applied kids. I didn't do anything. I wouldn't say we did really bad, but we just did not understand many things. And that may be a function of many things. For me, the biggest inflection point per se kind of felt that once you sort of know about yourself, and that's not necessarily once you realize that's not necessarily a bad thing, that's actually something you can work on to refine. For me, life kind of started beginning to change, because one of the things, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I'm not good at taking competitive exams, for example, while I've done reasonably well in that. But it is not something that comes to me naturally. If you say suddenly, give what is the area of triangle, what is the perimeter, all these things do not come to me naturally. While I enjoy solving a very advanced trigonometric problem, the that instantaneous flow of things. And at that time, now it's probably changing, but at that time in India, unless you do that at rapid pace, you cannot be at the top of the class. So I've always felt that, I'm more like that, 11th, 12th rank type of a person consistently, not necessarily one or two. So you are sort of, that ranking sort of makes you think that maybe you are not the best of the best. But once I came to the US and started studying here, what happened was, and also not just US, over time in India also things sort of changed. So what happened was, okay, one thing that I found myself was, once I understand a concept, I can put it to use in a much better way than, for example, I learned about control charts, but everybody reads about it, but do not use it, like statistical process control. When I got a job in call center, I implemented that. People just loved it because it's a simple chart that tells you whether the process is in control or not. And that's something I learned in school, and nobody thought about using that type of thing in a call center environment. So once you start figuring out, this is what, there are certain things that come to you well. So that's the important thing. The person who's getting a 99 out of 100 or rank 1, which is an admirable thing, fantastic. But the world just doesn't belong to that type of accomplishment. Many ways, all of us have to step up, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't aspire to that. We should aspire to that. You should learn from that, but also try to unlock how you learn and what is the uniqueness that you bring to the table. And that's one of the reasons today, many of the things that I've struggled to learn sort of stay with me for a while. And that's, I think, is an inflection point. I think that's the only thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah, okay. Thanks. The next question, it's quite interesting. Most of us in day-to-day life, we stick on to using Windows, right? However much programming we learn, we stick on to that. Which point do you think the programming is most important, or where it is important? The question from one of the student.
Yeah, I think today, if you look at, that's a fantastic question.
Yeah, sorry, sir, one more thing, Vijay.
Yeah.
In spite we are skilled in programming, we used to work in Windows. That's a question. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are two types of things, right? There are, one is muscle memory, whether, using Windows is not necessarily a bad thing, at least for people like me. It's muscle memory, like, you have used it for a while, it's comfortable, you don't want to switch the operating systems. But today, the argument around Windows and other operating systems, that part is sort of largely over. That debate is over. Today, in a cloud-based environment, a lot of that really truly does not matter. Now, if you are asking for, and also the complexity of programming is dramatically lowering. Like today, you could follow 10, 12 hours of YouTube sessions, and other equal number of, Coursera, or all these thing called MOOCs. You can excel in any platform. If the question is, what tools you need to be familiar with, I would say in AI, Python is going to emerge as important as Microsoft Excel. In another 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised every single business analyst is using Python or Tableau, those type of platforms, while Excel is also improving. Today, you can do so many things with Excel as well. So I think that part of the argument debate is over. So you don't have to feel bad about using Windows, or you don't have to feel bad about that argument is sort of largely over. So I think the important thing is, what am I going to learn? Python itself is changing libraries at an amazing pace. So you have to keep up with what is changing within a particular platform as well. So
One more question, Vijay. Couple of more questions. How do we
Sure.
start thinking in a practical way? We have the skills, but don't know
Hmm.
how to use them properly. Can a
Got
schedule
it.
or plan be suggested that might be helpful?
Yeah, I think like in any skill, the way we planned, again, I do not know the secret recipe for this, but the way we planned is we set very simple goals. We said that we are going to use, we first acknowledge we are very ordinary people in terms of talent, in terms of accomplishments, whatever that is. We are not special skill people. That is a very good mechanism, because then it sort of takes away any unnecessary assumption about you, and it sort of level sets, okay, while what you can give to the cause that you have chosen is very clean habits, very clean digital habits, as Dr. Bala pointed out very well in the first opening talk. Then time and passion and all that, right? So if that is what that is given, so without that we cannot do anything. So clean that up and get that to an order. I'm sure you are all professionals, you would do that. Now then step one would be to take a use case. Without use case, you simply cannot test your skill. And use case could be, you know, an application point, right? So if you say that I want to test a text-based platform that would help farmers, you would have to map out the model for that, how you envision that product, that use case to be solved, what type of technologies, what do you need to learn on the mobile side, what do you need to learn on the data engineering side, what do you need to learn on the hosting side. So map it like that and pioneer, however small that use case is, put it together, and then seek help in terms of what other complementary skills you need, whether it is on the data science part, whether it is on the pure gathering field research standpoint. So you may need to study how when farmers check messages and things like that. I think one use case that comes to my mind is like when we this is not done by us, but one of our partners did exactly that, because in the fields, for example, people all they do is they go early AM, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to turn the pump on for water. And as a result, farmers reported that snake bites and other insect bites and things like that happening. So one of the professionals whom I work with, they basically studied when can we do a text-based turn on and turn off, like the motor turning on and motor turning off. They were not actually, they had some data engineering skills, but they really did not know how to put it to use. Now, by studying this and by taking, can we make it work in a one small farming community? If they send 1, the motor would turn on. If they press 0, the motor would turn off. So if they do that, then you are avoiding the entire trip to the farm by, don't worry too much about scalability at that point, but you are basically saying that, can I read inputs from the, a mobile device? Can I store it in cloud? Because you're going to exchange data there. Can I fire an algorithm using some sort of an algorithmic language? Then can I connect to the motor and make it take an action? Now you need to put that machine online, whatever that machine is. So when you try doing these are the 4 building blocks to do this, right? When you try doing that, you will figure out so many things. And in the end, you are not seeking for super sophisticated output. You're basically trying to get a rough order of prototype, right? A very, very rough order of prototype. If you can do that at a very, very small level, that is the best way for you to learn, rather than theoretically trying to see whether this works, that doesn't work. So prototyping is the best way to do, and pick a use case that is simple enough and something that you understand really, really well.
Just kindly one question. How to overcome procrastination? That's one question. And do you set targets for yourself for every year? So this is the final question from our end. With that,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think procrastination is something that it is there. Everybody procrastinates. I think I don't have, once again, a recipe to avoid that. But what we have done is, in general, if you are procrastinating and still learning something useful, ideally it comes to how you are spending the time, right? If you're procrastinating and trying to inject a Netflix movie and then reinvigorate yourself, that's a very, very valid procrastination, because you need that. You need to unwind. So don't be in that all-time work mode standpoint. But if you are procrastinating to just procrastinate, where you are not going to come back, then that is a very harmful thing to do. And unfortunately, you learn all this a bit too late in life. And when you, the only way you can attach that is you try to attach yourself from in very accomplished people, like in your club itself, the Rotary Club of Coimbatore, the leadership that has taken this initiative, be it Guna or Mr. Mani or Bala, Dr. Beena, Dr. Ismail. Look how much other work they have, and in spite of that, they have put together an event like this just for the benefit of you, right? So that requires a lot of discipline, time management, and things like that. So you can start deriving inspiration towards, okay, the biggest commodity or asset that I have is not very rich parents, is not great schools, is not blessed setup, whatever that is, right? The biggest asset you have is time. So, and in the digital world, it makes a even more better thing, because if I could learn one thing about that particular country, place, that's something that others do not have, your procrastination can be converted into an asset. I'll give you one quick example on that. When I was in Sweden for a meeting with one of the largest telecom provider, I was going to Sweden for the first time at that time, and just instead of preparing, just took a ride out to the rural Sweden. One thing that stuck on to me was, Swedish homes are painted red, distinct red. I was like, why is that? Every home is like either red or close to red. When I viewed through the lens of curiosity and trying to understand, not discounting that thought that had come into your mind, I found that there is a fantastic story behind that, because Sweden largely grew up with copper mines. Hundreds of years back, they used to be the copper provider across all countries in Europe. They were such a big mine. And over time, in the 16th, 17th century, they learned that copper is not going to be around for a very long time, and they need to diversify. And that diversification led them to extracting the paint-like deposit that comes from the mines and then processing it, and they rewired the entire mining into a paint shop, right? So they produce massive amount of this red color paint, and they when the copper ore ran out, they basically switched to painting, right? So now that is the reason why most of the rural Swedish homes are still painted red, because they just had this in plenty, right? And they and this story, I opened with this story about Sweden in my meeting the next day, and even people who are from Sweden were just extremely pleased to the level of cultural understanding that we bring to the table about their country and about their city, right? So in that case, I really wanted to be away from my work, but converted that into something to work. So if you are procrastinate all that you want, but do it in the right way, rather than and convert that into something quickly relate to what you are doing. Then it becomes all productive. Then it becomes actually even more powerful, because that story I could not have told my client if I didn't step out of work and then see what is happening, right? So I think that's one way to manage it. I still do not know the answer to that, but that is one way I'm dealing with that. In terms of targets, absolutely, we want to double our business again in 2021. We already are working towards that. Without target, from a business standpoint, it is irresponsible if you don't have targets, not just for you, but you have surrendered people who are dependent on you to take their lives to the next level. And so you have to set targets, and even set very aggressive targets, even if you fall short a bit. Always fall short on a stretch goal as opposed to an easily achievable goal.
Yeah, so Rotarian Guna, I think we have come to the end of the Q&A session.
Yeah, it is. And few more questions are there, Vijay. We will send you by
Maybe
email.
we
You can reply
could
to
send him a mail, and whenever
Yeah,
time permits, probably he could
Absolutely.
reply to a
Yes.
few.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, for me, it was like listening to a Wikipedia, Mr. Vijay.
Hopefully not very boring.
No. You know, the first thing that pops up for anything that you wish to know is Wikipedia. So it was actually a compliment.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I still have a lot more to talk about you. So please listen to me for another 30 seconds, please. So
Sure.
to achieve a world in which all young people are inspired and equipped to realize the future they want is no mean task. And every drop in an ocean counts. And Mr. Vijay, you have been extremely resourceful and motivational. Truly said, Indians can fill all gaps everywhere. From selling ice or tea on Mount Everest to becoming CEOs in born in America companies, we are proud to be Indians. Thanks for reminding the current generation about the importance of the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic, which has to be revisited. This generation has to also embrace, apart from the 3 R's, the 4 C's: creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration, as you mentioned. And not to forget, a love and understanding for the underprivileged, women empowerment, and of course, pets. Knowledge multiplies when shared, and we just saw it happen. Thank you so much, Mr. Vijay, for moving the horizons of knowledge a little further. So thank you once again for spending a lot of time with us. Every single word that you spoke, I'm sure, would have gone deep down into the young minds, and it would be there, as Dr. Bala said, would be absorbed, and it would be used when the opportune time comes up. Thank you so much, Mr. Vijay, for spending time with us today. Request Secretary Rotarian Ismail to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, President, for organizing such a wonderful program. Thank you, Rotarian IPS Jyotish, for the Rotary prayer. Thank you, Rotarian Dr. Past President J. Balavenkata for a great introduction of Assay Evolve program, your brainchild, transforming your young minds. And thanks to Rotarian K. Gunasekaran, event chair, for introducing today's chief guest, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan, and also for the dedicated follow-up all through the pre-event days. Thank you, Mr. Vijay Swaminathan, for an insightful address, very down-to-earth, insightful, and extremely rich in productive takeaways. Your words of experience from the standpoint of your successful journey must surely motivate the young minds here. I would like to thank the following institutions: Dr. G. R. Damodaran College, Aditya Institute of Technology, Sri Saraswati Tyagarajan College, PhD Institution of Management, Banari Amman Institute of Technology, Coimbatore Institute of Technology, Savita Engineering College, and InLife Institute of Vision Management for the support and participation in this wonderful program. Thank you, district officials, club officials, senior club members, and other club presidents and secretaries. And finally, thank on behalf of all members of Rotary Club of Coimbatore, to all the young dynamic participants from various institutes, honorable guests, fellow Rotarians, aunts, aunts, and protectors for being here. Thank you, dear Rotarian T. Bina, our Master of Ceremonies, for flawless flow of events. Thank you, Rotarian H. Thank you, everyone, for a wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you very much. Wonderful time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye,
Over to
Vijay.
President.
Bye.
Over to President, please.
Yeah, okay.
The meeting is hereby